Welcome to Powerless to Powerful with Angela Bennett, a show that brings a sassy mix of transformative advice on health, relationships, love, career, and mindset shifting, together with some fun and laughter. Powerless to Powerful with Angela Bennett begins now. So, welcome to Powerless to Powerful. My name is Dr. Angela Bennett, and today my guest is Dr. Shirley Brown Danzy. She is an author, motivational speaker, and mindset coach based in Mississippi. She has a passion for helping people unlock the full potential of their lives for a broader tomorrow. She's authored her own book entitled The Power to Succeed: Unlock Your Life, Unlock Your Dreams, which is all about empowering people. In addition to that, Dr. Shirley has worked with the great Les Brown, John Tallarico, and several other amazing authors, including myself, in a book titled The Greatness in You. And both books have received Amazon #1 bestseller in the United States and internationally. Yes! With a diverse career spanning over 2 decades in management, leadership, and social work, Shirley has embraced her purpose as someone who has put on this earth to help others become true achievers and unlock the full potential of their dreams. Dr. Shirley strongly believes that anybody has the power within, and it is really about harnessing such power and using it to channel positivity and growth in their lives. Wow, Dr. Shirley, what an honor to have you in on my show today. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get to know you. Tell us about you. I mean, we've read your bio, but give me the real, give me you. Mike's yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Angela. First, let me say it's an honor to be here. I'm very feel grateful for the invite to come on to your podcast today. I am very grateful. And to give a little bit about myself, I'm actually Shirley Brown Danzy, as Miss Angela just said. I'm a motivational speaker, author, and mindset coach. My purpose in life is to help as many people as I possibly can. And I do this through actually giving my message, sharing my growth, sharing my blessings. When I started I'll say about 3 years ago, when we were actually going through the pandemic, and I was just at a place in my life, just trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? I knew where I was in that moment, but I knew that there was much more for me to have, because I've had visions and I've had dreams of being more and doing more, but I was stuck. I didn't know how to achieve those things that I was seeing in my visions and in my dreams. And so I was sitting there. I had started a small business. And in the process of trying to get my business off the ground and running, I created an Instagram page. So I had never done an Instagram page before. So I was like asking my daughter, I need an Instagram page so I can promote my business. And so during this time, I started listening to Les Brown. And so I said, wow, I love listening to him, because he would motivate me, uplift me, and inspire me to, want to keep pushing on and going toward my dream. And I was like, wow, I sure would like to speak like Les Brown. And so I kept having visions and dreams of just speaking and speaking. And so I said, I would listen to him every morning, Miss Angela. And I was like, man, I need to speak like this man. So in the process of trying to set up my Instagram page, there was this advertisement that came across the page, and it was like, Les Brown was teaching people how to speak, with power and conviction. And I was like, man, I would love to do that. So actually, when I decided to enroll into his program, it actually changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. It changed the direction. It changed so much, that one decision. So and that's how I met you, Miss Angela, just through that process of going through Les Brown and studying with John Tallarico, both very powerful classes. So I strongly, encourage people to, sometimes we question, like spending money on ourselves, but it's truly worth it when we take time to invest in ourselves. there is so much that you can get for free, and I say that so many times. Sometimes you just have to, just like we spend money on material things like cars,
Mm.
homes. We have to spend that same kind of money on ourselves to if we want more and we desire more in
Yep.
life.
Come
So
on. Yep.
what better thing of to spend that money on other than ourselves? So again, I come from humble beginnings. I started my mother, she was a stay-at-home mom. My dad, he was a disabled veteran. And so, they were always there at home. And so the neighborhood that I grew up in, everybody kind of struggled, but when you're young and you're in that environment and that's all that you've seen, then that's all that you know. And so, but as I began to grow, I began to realize that, there is much more. And how can I get more than what I have currently? So it was a struggle for me, going through school, putting myself through getting my bachelor's degree, then going back and getting through school and getting my master's degree. That was a challenge for me because my
Yeah.
dad died when I was in the 11th grade. So I had to keep pushing myself and encouraging myself. Okay, you can't stop no matter how tough things got, no matter, whether I had financial difficulties, if I ran out, thought I didn't have time because I was trying to work and go to school. It just seemed like as I kept pushing myself, doors just kept opening up. They just kept opening up. And so I just kept going and I just kept going. And so when I started the Les Brown class, it's just like it just added another piece of the puzzle to complete me. And so much has happened within the last 3 years, Miss Angela. I'm now number one best-selling author of my own book entitled, The Power to Succeed. Unlock Your Life, Unlock Your Dream. I've studied with Les Brown, John Tallarico, and I'm actually a co-author in this book with you as well, The Greatness in You. That's with John Tallarico and the great Mr. Les Brown as well. So just all of this within like 3 years of time. And so,
Mhm.
I just want to just encourage people, Angela, to just keep going after your dream, keep pushing yourselves. And a lot of people struggle with, how do I become successful? But the late Dr. Miles Monroe said, if you want to be successful, don't seek success. Seek to become a person of value. And so
Wow.
when we seek to become a person of value and we're constantly giving value to other people, then people will seek us. They will seek out what we have and we will become successful in those regards. So it's an honor to be here. I'm still working on my dream. I'm still pushing. Right now, I know we cannot stay stagnant. You have to keep moving. And regardless of how you feel, like sometimes we become afraid. And a lot of times, and many times along my journey, I have allowed fear to stop me. But the late Dr. Nelson Mandela said, courage is not the absence of fear. He said it's the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he said it is he who has conquered that fear. And so I had to learn to conquer my fears throughout this journey because a lot of times I was afraid and I was staying in my comfort zone. But I knew that in order to grow and to become a better expression of myself, that I had to step outside of my comfort zone. I was looking at one of Les Brown's quotes, and I remember saying, "It's time to leave your comfort zone." And I said, I keep that, and I took it and I actually put it on my vision board as a reminder that when I become so comfortable, okay, Shirley, it's time it's time for you to leave this comfort zone and keep going and keep pushing and keep moving in the direction of your dreams. So I encourage people, don't just settle. Don't just settle for that which is within your reach, but what is it that you truly want in life? And you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone and keep moving in the direction of your dream, because I started from nothing, but I
Yeah.
didn't give up. And so when
Yeah.
the title of your podcast is From Powerless to Powerful, and I'm like, wow, I can identify with that. So I'm grateful, Dr. Angela, for being on this podcast, and I'm just looking forward to you. I know you're doing some amazing things as well. So, whew.
Yeah, I thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so true. When you I wrote down a few things because there was quite a few nuggets in there, but feeling that fear and doing it anyway.
Mm.
There's so much in that, and every time we do step out of that comfort zone, which for me, the comfort zone feels comfortable, but there's always that element of discomfort because there's more. You're
Mhm.
capable of more. You've been given more as a vision, and it's like an unquenchable or an insatiable hunger that you can't quite fulfill because that there's more.
Mhm.
And so when you do learn to, I call it run towards the roar, it's just that stepping out of my fear, stepping through my fear, or as John Tallarico would call it, the terror barrier. And
Mhm.
every time we do that, it becomes easier and easier. And we also, like, our comfort zone changes. And so, like, for me, my comfort zone 2 weeks ago, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I thought that was comfortable. Like, now that I'm here and this is a little bit comfortable, I'm ready for next level again. But I'm
Mhm.
beginning to enjoy that challenge of, I need to be careful what I say and what I want to bring into my life. I'm like,
Yeah.
when I get that little bit of comfort, I'm like, all right, where's the next challenge? And
Mhm.
where's that next level for me to elevate and step into for this next, whatever's coming next for me, that next level of comfort zone for me to step into the discomfort of something new and uncertain and bigger and better. And it's, if you keep going that way, you're right, the doors just open. And I believe when we give permission to God to come in and have his way, he will open the floodgates of heaven, and there is no stopping them. And what he has for us will not pass us by. No matter how
Mhm.
many people come before us, it is for us. And so it will
Yeah.
always be there for us. And I love that. So thank you for sharing that. Do you have
You're
anything to
welcome.
add to that?
No, you're exactly right. When you just what is for us, and we cannot compare ourselves to other people. And I think a lot of times we don't continue on our journey because we're constantly looking at other people and saying and comparing ourselves to them, and so we stop because we don't think that we're as good as they are. But our messages and what we bring to the universe is unique, and so we have an audience as well and we have to believe in ourselves and know that we can be more, much more than we can ever imagine. So
Yeah.
just don't compare yourself to other people, even though we all look up to people, but we still can't
Of course.
forget about the value that we have ourselves. Yes.
Of course. And on that note, I mean, if we both had the same beginnings and we're the same age and the same experiences in life, yeah, maybe we could compare ourselves. But the fact is, we've all had different beginnings, we've had different experiences and circumstances in life. And comparing ourselves to the next person, it's absurd. And what is that saying? The comparison is the thief of all joy. Yeah, the thief of all joy. So each time we compare ourselves, we're stealing joy from us, and yeah, doesn't serve
I
any
agree.
purpose. Yeah.
No.
And I love, you mentioned the puzzle pieces. I love it when you look back over your life and you can see how all the puzzle pieces fit together.
Hmm.
And
and
even
and you can
being,
see and you can see too, Miss Dr. Angela, why you had to go through certain things. Because when you get to a certain point in your life and you said, okay, that's why I went through that. That's why I
yeah,
went through that, because now I need that skill or whatever I learned when I went through that experience. Now I see why I needed that, because I'm stronger now, I'm better now, and now I'm ready to deal with this gift that God has given me, this blessing
yeah,
that God has given me. Now I know how to handle this. So oftentimes I look back and reflect on my life and say, okay, now see, at the time I felt like, I knew I was struggling, but I kept going. But now I understand why I went through the challenges that I went through. because of who I am today. It made me who I am today. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of things in my life that I wouldn't choose to do them over again, but they've happened, and it's like, okay, I'm glad I survived that. And now with
Mm-hmm.
those experiences, I get to reach those people in similar situations because, I mean, for example, in the prostitution world, I can go into the brothels. I can speak to the women in the sex industry because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no judgment, there's acceptance and there's understanding and there's love. And it's like, I know where you are. I know what that's like. And whatever you've been through, you have the same. Like, you can approach different people than I can because you've had different experiences than me. And that's
So
what
true.
makes us so unique and so beautiful, and how we can come together and be those puzzle pieces that fit together and make the world turn around.
So true. So true.
I think it's really powerful to invest in ourselves, as you mentioned, because when I started in the Les Brown Power Voice, and then I moved on to John Tallarico's Thinking into Results, and then the opportunities, like you said, the opportunities started to open. But the connections and the network that I've
Mm-hmm.
created over the last 3 or 4 years, I think it's been 3.5 years, are now starting to really show the fruition of the purpose of them coming into my life. And I'm also learning to be more bold, to say to people, this is what I'm doing. Do you know anyone who can help me with that? Because we have such a vast network,
Mm-hmm.
and people of all different walks of life and connections. And it's just been such a blessing. And then, I get to meet women like you who are doing incredible things. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your book? Because I'm really curious and intrigued. I don't have a copy yet, and forgive me, but I would love to know what brought that book about,
I
and
kept
who is that book for?
the book is for anyone who is, and I know a lot of times people say, who is your message for? But my message is for those people who are struggling, those people who feel stuck, those people who are in a position in life and they just don't see no way out. And they're looking for just a little bit of encouragement and for somebody to just say, if I did it, you can do it. And so I wanted to find a way to reach back to that place where I was many years ago and help people who are in the same position that I was in many years ago, to inspire them through my story and through research and through just being able to hear my message and to know that you too should never give up and you should keep going after your dream. So my message is, which is in this book, is to inspire and give hope to those who at the moment feel like there is no hope. So I took the time to just actually go through and tell my story. And then through my story is to uplift and inspire and fuel people to continue to go after their dreams, to come out of that dark place, and say, I can have more than what I have. And so
Mm.
this lady did this. So let me see what she's talking about. She was stuck. She didn't stop. She gave up. She forgave the people who she needed to forgive. So, and she was able to move on because, when we leave pieces behind and we the burden becomes so heavy until it drags us down. So we have to be able to let go of a lot of things so that we can have a lot of things. I put it like that. And so this book is my way of doing that, to inspire people through my message, through my story, to keep going after their dreams. Don't settle in life. We only have one life to live, and let's live it to the fullest. Let's um, live full and die empty, as Mr. Brown would say. So that's what it's about, just to give people some hope, through my message, through my stories, to to know that they can have more and do more if they just simply believe in themselves and just keep going and pushing toward their dreams.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Believing in yourself. Well, I know for me, believing in myself was so difficult at some
Yes.
stages of my life. And I heard someone, I think it was John Tallarico actually, who said, borrow my belief in you until you can believe in yourself enough. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, wow. And I did that. And he's still my mentor to today. Um,
Yes.
and it was just so powerful to know that there was someone who believed in me, who saw my dreams and helped me work towards them and push towards them, and just to keep going when, when you don't see progress and you become stagnant, you can lose that passion, and it's just like the dream's too big. I don't know how to get there. I'm exhausted, all the things, because life happens and we're
Mm-hmm.
human and we fall down. And just to have him there for me was just incredible, and to borrow his belief in me when I couldn't believe in myself. It's so cool.
And, and it's so easy to put ourselves down and to not understand the worth and the value that we have or we bring to the room, to the space. It's so easy to get caught up into that I'll say whirlwind or that place. It's so easy. So through my book, I want people to just take the time to read it, to understand that I don't have to stay here. I just have to just keep moving, even though I feel like I can't move anymore. I need to just keep moving because I know what I want, but I'm stuck right now. Just know that you're just in it for a minute, but you're not in it long. You just have to keep moving and not stay in that space, because your blessings are on the other side of that fear. So just keep pushing through until you get to where you want to be. And so this is what I talk about in my book, but I try to make it to where it's just not all about just reading. Well, it is reading, but I try to break it up a little bit. I put some quotes in there to try to help inspire you too. Some of my favorite quotes are in this book to just kind of push you along, to just reinforce the message that I'm giving you throughout the book. So
Look at your face. You get so
yeah, because you want to help so many people, Dr. Angela. You just want to help so many people. And sometimes I struggle with, how do I do that? Because so many people just don't believe in themselves. So, I just,
yeah.
even though, and some people may not pick up the book. So I try to, when I speak, I try to tell people, don't stay where you are, because you only have one life. And so you got to go after your dreams. What else is there if you can't be happy, healthy, and wealthy? So let's go after our dream and live a life that's going to outlive us. And so I'm
Yes.
very passionate about that. And so this is just one way that I'm giving back to society. That's just one way, but I'm constantly looking for other ways of how can I help people? How can I bring people with me on this journey? Because this is a powerful journey. And I'm just in awe every day, because there's just always something, and I'm just getting blessings from everywhere and from so many people. And just like you spoke about a minute ago, when I started, I've always been somewhat of a introvert. Some people have seen me as shy until I start to speak, and I'm like, where did that come from? So I started getting the title of people calling me Silent Storm, because I walk around like I'm so quiet, but then when I start to speak, they're like, are you the same person? I was like, yes, this is the same person, but I have a message and I'm trying to inspire people and give them hope. And so, again, I'm very, very passionate about it, Dr. Angela, and so are you. So are you. So we have that in common. And so hopefully, I've met so many powerful women and so many powerful men, and we're all, what's so wonderful about it is everybody is trying to help so many people.
Yeah.
And you don't find that a lot of times. And there is no hidden agenda other than we're wanting to help and inspire people to do more and be more and have more, so that they can continue to help people reach back and help some more people. So
Amen.
yes. But this is what happened when you invest in yourself and you gain the knowledge and understanding, because even through John's program, Thinking into Results, it changes your whole mindset, because when we change the way we look at things, and I think it was Wayne Dyer said, the things we look at change. So
Yeah.
we have to shift our mindset to see things differently. And then we can start to see and imagine more and do more, because now we're not looking at it as a hindrance. We're looking at it as an opportunity.
Yes.
So
I can hear God telling me to share something, and it's embarrassing to share.
go for
But
it,
I'm
Angela. Go
I,
for it. If it's on your
I'm
heart.
I'm going to be obedient and talking about changing your mindset and investing in yourself and doing the work. And during this 2022 was a healing season for me. And just about 2 weeks ago, I was having a big whinge and complain at God, and he goes, he said, "Stop with the self-pity.
Mm-hmm.
You are so good at being in self-pity and you are sabotaging yourself." And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
me, me. And I was
We will
like,
do it, though. We will do it.
right.
And
And
that,
I'm like, God, you're right. That was so
yes.
hard to hear, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like the flick of a light switch. Something changed in that moment because I thought I can choose to stay here in this
Mm-hmm.
cycle of self-pity and sabotage. And I've made some choices that have made a really difficult life for myself. And so I had every reason to stay there and
Mm-hmm.
to feel sorry for myself. But my purpose is too big. My heart is too big for people who are going through similar things and who want
Mm-hmm.
more out of life, because we all deserve something more.
Yes.
We
Yes.
all deserve to be loved, valued. We're all valued, but we all deserve to be seen and accepted and belong.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, the longer I stay in self pity and this cycle of self sabotage, the longer it's going to take me to reach my purpose and my destiny. And so when we are convicted of things like that, that are, or behaviors and patterns that are, they're confronting. Like that's a tough pill to swallow when
Mm-hmm.
you're being corrected about a behavior that is, it's just no longer serving you. And that's
Right.
enough. And it's like, okay, be big enough to accept that loving correction. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so thankful for that correction, because it has shifted so much and opened doors and given me so much more confidence and boldness and determination and passion to get to where I want to go. Because I'm like, I'm done with the self-pity, you know?
Yes. But it's good that you were able to recognize that, though, Dr. Angela, because a lot of times, until you learn about yourself and learn about paradigm shifts and how we think and how our thoughts affect our behavior, then some people don't realize that, like you
Yeah.
just did, you knew that you were wallowing in self-pity and it was causing you some issues in terms of moving in the direction of your dreams. Because the longer we stay in that self-pity, then we're wasting valuable time. But until we really we really understand that, how our mind works and how powerful our mind is, we do get stuck. And people do get stuck. And that's why it's important for us to teach and let people know through our story that, you stuck, but don't stay there. You got to keep moving. You there for a minute, recognize what you're doing, and then keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
it's a phase I think we all go through. And then you said something else about uh, some of the decisions that you've made, and I think that's it is a part of life. We all have made bad decisions that didn't serve us well, but we have to be able to forgive and move on and just realize that was just a part of us growing up, right? Because we all come from different backgrounds. We all learned different things as we were growing up. Some things we did not learn. Some things we had to make mistakes to learn from those mistakes. But again, they made us who we are today. But we can't get stuck in those decisions that we made, because like I heard Les Brown said, I'm not that same person, right? We grow and we mature. And so
Yeah.
now we made those mistakes, but now we should make those same mistakes. We should be able to take that, learn from it, and then continue to move in the direction of our dreams. So yeah, it's a part of life. We just
Yeah.
everyone makes mistakes, but you just cannot get stuck in that mistake. Yeah.
That's right. Now, you've mentioned forgiveness a couple of times.
Yes.
I want to delve into forgiveness a little bit. Is that
Mhm.
okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
because I believe that there is so much power in forgiveness, and there's so much that holds us back, and so much that is stolen from us if we're not prepared to forgive.
Mhm.
So you from memory, you said you talk about it in your book,
Mhm.
and you've just mentioned it again. So I'm like, okay, so this is, and I wrote it down as you mentioned it earlier. I'm like, okay, wait, let's go here.
Yes, yes. So forgiveness. And I put it in my book because I don't think you can tell a story without talking about the power of forgiveness. Because if we don't forgive, again, we continue to hold that baggage. We continue to hold those feelings, and we continue to go through on our journey, but we can't truly give all that we have on ourselves because we're bringing along a lot of baggage, a lot of guilt, and those things steal energy from us. And
Yeah.
so I keep talking about forgiveness because I've forgiven people, and we've forgiven on like different levels because some of us has experienced things that may have been more harsh than others. But whatever it is that people go through, you have to forgive and you have to continue to move on. So that's why in my book I talked about it. When I think about forgiveness, I've been in situations where I had to just been done wrong, been denied things that I feel like I was entitled to. I knew I was entitled to. I'm not going to say think, but I still had to forgive and move on, even though I knew that things I was done wrong in a lot of situations, but I didn't hold on to that. I always did a self-evaluation of myself to understand why did these things happen. And sometimes when we do that, we can understand, okay, I can't allow that to stop me, but I can look for ways to continue to improve myself so that when other opportunities become available, then I am ready to step into those. Because what is for you, if you think about it by divine right, then you're going to get those things. So regardless of if man tries to hold you back, you can't get caught up into that, people doing you wrong, or because everybody gets done wrong at some point in time. So we have to be able to just forgive those people, and just let them deal with whatever they have to deal with and whatever consequences. Because I do believe that when you do people wrong, then the universe is going to give it back to them. So I don't worry about them. I just keep moving in the direction of my dreams. So just forgive them, bless them, and move on, and just continue going on, and don't worry about them, because when you do good, you're going to get good. And when people do things that are underhanded or conniving or do people wrong, I just feel like that's something that they have to deal with, and I'm not going to take their problem and drag it along with me. That's something that they have to, I think, pray and ask forgiveness for themselves. And until we become big enough to know that we have to treat people the way we want to be treated, then they will continue to be like on a merry-go-round, going around and around and wondering why, they can't move forward. So that's why I say in my book, just forgive people, bless them, move on, and just keep your eyes on the prize. What is it that you want? And then just don't look to the right and don't look to the left. Just stay focused and keep going and say, I forgive you. And then you just keep moving. And so that's why I talk about it, because I know it can be a huge hurdle for a lot of people to get over, but you have to get over it, and just don't let people take power away from you. Because when we give them that power, then we lose some of our power because we just gave it away. And we need
Yeah.
everything we have to become a full expression of ourselves. So forgiveness, again, I think is a very, very big piece of it, because some people just struggle with letting it go, and it's hard, to be able to let some things go because of the deepness, I'll say, of the pain that they endured. Or and we all have our levels of pain and things that we went through. but still you have to find a way to just say, okay, I forgive it all, and then just keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Forgiveness is I found forgiveness quite a hard journey
Mm-hmm.
because,
It
like
is.
you, yeah, but it's a choice that we make. And even I know I had to forgive my ex-husband for a few things, and I've really struggled with the pain and the injustice that I felt,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard to forgive him. And then what I realized was, okay, so when I say I forgive you, then I've chose not to his face, just in my own stuff, in my own time and space. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, so because I've said I forgive you, that means I've forgiven him. Doesn't stop the pain, doesn't stop
Right.
or didn't stop the pain, didn't make it okay for what happened. But every day I had to choose to continue to make that choice of forgiveness, because it just doesn't, it's like, yes, you have forgiven them, but I still had to make that choice each day to sit in that
Mm-hmm.
I've forgiven you, I've forgiven you, I've forgiven you, and
Mm-hmm.
also be thankful for the lessons that I learned through that situation,
Mm-hmm.
and see the contrast of what I no longer will accept in my life and what I will accept, so yeah, that's really powerful. Thank you. And I guess for me, knowing that I'm forgiven by my Savior from everything that I've done, and like his love is so pure and holy, it purifies us. So that type of forgiveness, he doesn't even remember it anymore. Like our slate is wiped clean,
Mm-hmm.
which it's something so powerful for someone like me and what I've been through. And I'm just like, okay, so you want us to forgive people the way you forgive us. So that was a
Mm-hmm.
big deal for me. Yeah. Well, thank you for your. Sorry, did you have
Mm-hmm.
something to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say you're exactly right. You forgive them, but it doesn't mean that you forget. You still, and eventually as time progresses and you start replacing those thoughts with some more positive things, then it becomes like in the distance, right? But it takes some time. It does take some time because you don't forget. You forgive them, but you don't forget. But through going while going through life, and again just doing other things and staying absorbing yourself and trying to stay focused on your goal, then you see it not being not as big, not as a hurdle, I guess I should say, to get over. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Do you have a favorite part in your book by any chance? I keep getting this question. Ask her about her favorite part. I'm like, what? Okay.
Favorite part in my book. My favorite part in my book in there is where I talk about my dad and the
See, there you
lessons
go.
that I
There was
learned.
a reason I had to ask.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Where I talk about the lessons that I learned growing up with my dad, and there was a lot of people. We played a game a lot, and I'm not going to spoil it because some people have to get my book.
Yeah.
But through the game that we played, I learned a lot, and I just talk about my experience with my dad, the lessons that I learned, and how those lessons kind of spilled over into the other parts of my life and my journey through life, and how I'll reflect on I went through this, and then going through this experience with my dad, because remember my dad died when I was in high school. And so I would reflect on those games that we played, and I was like, just that learning, that lesson that I learned helped me get through so many challenges that I faced as I became an adult and a woman, and into womanhood, and just those thoughts that helped me get through some real difficult times. So, but yeah, and I think that's my favorite piece. And then yeah, I'll say that is my favorite piece. I love it all, but because I talk about myself and the challenges that I went through, and just today to be able to sit here and see how I overcame all those challenges and where I am today it makes me want to cry sometimes because I get so emotional because it's been a journey, a real difficult journey. But where I am now, I'm in a really good place, and so yeah, I hope it inspires you all as much as it does me, and I hope that it will give people the fuel and the energy that they need to say to sit one day like we are here and just reflect over their lives and say, I had some tough times and I had some hard times, but look where I am right now, and I'm happy. I'm happy right now. I'm focusing on my being happy, healthy, and wealthy. So I'm on this journey. I think I have to have all three of them, Dr. Angela. So I'm working on all three at one time because, if we don't develop ourselves, who's going to develop us for us, right? We can only get so much from other people, but we have to put the time and the energy into ourselves. If we're on a weight loss journey or whatever journey you're on, it takes commitment from ourselves. And so that's where I am today. Last week, actually, I'm on a weight loss journey, and I weighed myself, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm not losing that much weight." So, and I have been cheating, but the cheating is only hurting myself. So I said, "You know what, Shirley, you got to get committed with this girl because you trying to lose weight, and then nobody's can lose this weight for me." So it's just like with everything else, you have to be committed. If you say you want to do something, you have to go all in and remove all those distractions and keep your eyes on the prize and just keep moving in the direction of your dream. So, yes. So my favorite part in the book is about the chapter in there where I talk about the lessons that I learned growing up in the home with my dad and my mom. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I really think it's so important that we do reflect back on how far we have come. And I look at the woman, I'm 180 something days sober today. And I look back at the woman, thank you. I look back at the woman who was sitting on that couch crying out for help. And I honor her because she brought me so far in my life. And then she acknowledged that her time and space was done and there was something better, something bigger, something more. And she's so brave to put her hand up and ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I never, I don't look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I ended up in that situation. I'm just always so grateful for the courage and the boldness that it took and the tenacity that it took for that woman to get her as far as she could in that time and space with what she had in her hands. Then she got to a point and goes, okay, now I need more help. I need different help. I need something more. I need next level. I need to elevate. And it is just, there's those moments in our lives, there are decisions that are so pivotal, and we get to yell plot twist in our own lives and do a 180 and go in a completely different direction because we can.
Yes.
And it's actually really cool. Like someone said to me the other day, they said something, and I looked at them and I said, I'm not the same woman that you met back in February. So don't speak to me like that anymore. What she tolerated, I no longer tolerate. And he was just like, oh, but it's a beautiful reminder to honor ourselves, how far we've come, what we've been through, how far we've come, and then get so excited for whatever's next.
Yes, yes. I do agree.
Yeah. And when it comes to losing weight, I'm just going to challenge you to
Mm-hmm.
use the word, change your verbiage and say dropping weight. Because if you
Oh,
want to
I like
lose,
that.
if you want to lose weight, you're going to go find it again. So
Ah,
just, right?
yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I need to write that down. I need to drop some weight, Dr. Angela.
Yeah. Drop
Drop.
that weight. Get rid of it. Drop it. See you later. Gone. Thanks very much.
I love it.
Dr. Shirley, you're such a joy and a pleasure to have on my show. Thank you so much. How can people get in touch with you and also to purchase your book?
Okay, wonderful. They can get in touch with me on my website, which is shirleybrowndanzy.com. And you can also purchase my book. The autograph copies on my website are $25. But you can also get it on Amazon. Also, just search for my name, Shirley Danzy. I think they have my book on Amazon. But The Power to Succeed, Unlock Your Life, Unlock Your Dreams. If you type in Power to Succeed, it should come up. Those copies are like $19.99. You can also follow me on Instagram, author Shirley Brown Danzy. And so that's about it, I think. And I'm also on Facebook, Shirley Brown Danzy as well. And yeah, you have my Instagram. So look forward to seeing you all on one of those platforms.
Yeah, I follow you and I love your content. Thank you so much. I think you're amazing.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so excited for you and what's to come for you. So thank you for your time and everything that you've shared. It's been a real honor. And I will see you next time.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Angela, for having me. It's been a pleasure, a joy, and a phenomenal experience. I really appreciate being here in this space with you. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Follow Angela on Facebook and LinkedIn at Angela Bennett, on Instagram at AngieB_transformations, or visit angieb.com.au. And remember, your past does not define you, it refines you.